Go ahead and call the special meeting to declare emergency to order, March 24th. If everyone will rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so today's special meeting is for to declare an emergency in response to the COVID-19 event. So Brent, who is our Emergency Management Director,
Sure.
thought maybe you could give us a little prelude into this evening.
Very good. Thank you, Mayor and Council. As we know, with everything that's been going on, a lot of the communities surrounding us and statewide have kind of gone to a process which is authorized under State Statute 1229 to declare an emergency within a community. There's many reasons for doing this, but the way it's kind of worked, as identified in the memo, it starts at the federal level, goes down to the county level, state level, county level, and then local level. And currently, we have a national declared emergency followed by state and county. The county just declared their emergency here last week. So to follow suit, we are looking at a similar process. Now, for reference, I have been attending numerous meetings with the emergency managers within the county, which would involve the county emergency manager, public health department, as well as the other jurisdictions within Sherburne County. Part of our discussion is process and operations and stuff like that, and why we would do something like this. So the decisions to do something like this is not taken lightly, because it is kind of a big decision for a community, and it's not a doom and gloom type of process that we're looking at. It's all based on operations and fluidity and flexibility within our organizations, particularly at the city council level for us. So it allows us some flexibility in how we deal with staffing and potential changes, because at a point or certain points of time, we look at movement of personnel within our organization. In addition to procuring of equipment, if something were to happen that we needed to procure a very expensive piece of equipment, we all know there's a bidding process that could be involved in that. But due to the rapidly changing environment of COVID-19 or other declared events, we need to be able to move very quickly if it's deemed necessary by the city council or circumstances suggest. Business practices, as we see even currently, this is a good example with the number of people here and how people are spaced out. We needed the ability to be able to change how our meeting processes are as well. Yes, there's rules in doing that, but we need to be able to change with how things are going. Finance is certainly another matter of how we kind of deal with these events under a declaration. We are currently tracking expenses. We're tracking times as well that are devoted to COVID-19. Because at some point, once a declaration is made and through our emergency management system, we have the ability to get reimbursed. Well, we hope we get reimbursed from the federal level on down. So part of our process is we'd actually have to submit that to the county emergency management. They do it on our behalf. So to be able to do that, though, this is part of a process that kind of helps with that. And certainly, again, as I kind of mentioned, it allows for the city to maximize protection of life and property within the city to ensure continuity of our government. And we have had this examined and looked at by our city attorney, Scott Lepak. He provided us with a copy that I've observed as being very similar to just about every other jurisdiction that I've seen. So what you're seeing in front of you tonight starts our process. We're backdating it to March 13th when the state declaration was actually made. And again, what it allows us to do and actually allows you to do is one of the bigger pieces is flexibility within our operational things that we do. So it's, again, consistent with law. As identified, we're not in this by ourselves. There's a lot of communities that are involved in this, statewide, nationwide, and certainly within the world. Coordination being vital, being able to coordinate with the emergency operations within the county, the cities. Again, essential services. We continue to talk about things at the city level of what is important, how we're going to be moving forward. what does that look like, today versus maybe time down the road? Things could change significantly tomorrow, we know that. We know there's been a jump in cases from yesterday to today. A lot of that falls on the governor to identify and the direction that he's going to take. So we're certainly watching how, at the state level, how they're dealing with that, what that's going to mean for the local level. So at this point, what we have in front of you is the actual declaration of emergency. Like I say, the county has already done so. Ours is Resolution 20-26. I don't know if you have any questions at this time or any concerns that you'd like addressed.
Just a real minor one on the review of issues, page number 1 there. We specifically call out goal to meeting. Can we maybe just change that to a generic, so we're not calling out a specific product?
Say that again.
Review of issues, so second page, item number 1, city may utilize go to meeting, but we should probably just say a generic, so we're not locked into a.
Yeah, I know that was one of the things we're looking at, how to do that stuff, so agree. Okay.
Such as freemeetings.com or,
Whatever that might be, because we certainly want, as we look at changing our meeting style, at least for the time being, I think it's fair to say we want to make sure we're including public input when appropriate and conducting our meetings in as open a fashion as we possibly can. I think it's also important to stress this does not alleviate us following the standard procedure. When possible and at all times possible, we will continue to follow the rules that are set forth anyway. This just gives us the ability, if things change rapidly, that we have to change with it. That's maybe a better way to put that as well.
Yeah, the declaration doesn't spike out any specific name or anything, so.
So at this point, I'll turn it over to the mayor if you're
Yeah.
going to read that into the record.
I do have to read that, so, okay. Now therefore, Mayor Tracy Bertram of the City of Becker proclaims, declares, requests, and directs as follows. Under the authority given by the Minnesota statute, section 12.29 declares that a local emergency exists within the City of Becker, effective March 24th, 2020, with all powers and responsibilities attending thereto as provided by Minnesota statute, chapter 12. Number 2, directs city staff to review ordinances and regulatory requirements, operations, civil and legal proceedings, events, and resources to determine whether the foregiving should be adjusted or suspended, and to make recommendations regarding additional emergency regulations to support the employees and residents of the City of Becker. 3, directs all city departments and offices to operate and support the response to this matter under the direction and coordination of the Emergency Management Director and Emergency Management Team, including implementing new employee protocols, strategies, and processes to ensure that the public services are maintained. 4, directs the City Emergency Manager, Director, and other appropriate city staff to request and coordinate appropriate aid and resources from surrounding jurisdictions, Sherburne County, and the state of Minnesota and federal government as needed. 5, declares under Minnesota statute section 13D.021 that in-person meetings of the Becker City Council, Planning Commission, and other advisory commissions of the City of Becker are not practical or prudent due to COVID-19 health pandemic and the peacetime emergency declared by Governor Walz pursuant of the Minnesota Statute 12, and hereby directs that meetings of the City Council, Planning Commissions, and other advisory commissions of the city shall be conducted by telephone or other electronic means, and hereby directs city staff to take such action as may be necessary to enable such meetings to occur via telephone or other electronic means pursuant to Minnesota statute section 13D.021 until such time as it is no longer impractical or imprudent for the city council, planning commissions, and other advisory commissions to resume in-person meetings. 6, the City Council consents to and approves the extension of this emergency declaration pursuant to Minnesota Statute Section 12.29. This emergency declaration shall continue for a period of 8 weeks from its effective date of March 13th, 2020, unless further extended or terminated by or with the consent of the City Council, pursuant to Minnesota Statute Section 12.29, Subdivision 1. Number 7, orders that this declaration be given prompt and general publicity and that it be filed promptly by the city clerk. All right, any other questions or comments regarding it? If not, I would ask for a motion and a second.
All right, I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 2026, adopting a proclamation and declaration of emergency as presented.
Second that.
Motion from Rick, second from Troy. Any other discussion? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
Second that.
Motion from Rick, second from Troy to adjourn. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 5:17 PM.